Love is a lie we tell ourselves. Schopenhauer knew it, and it broke him. Arthur Schopenhauer, the dark genius of German philosophy, saw through the illusions of romance with a brutal clarity that still stings today. He didn't just question love, he dismantled it, calling it a trap, a cosmic trick played by forces beyond our control. And deep down, you felt it too. That moment when love slips away, not because it was fake, but because someone better walked by. Why does it hurt so much to feel discarded, like you were never enough? You're not alone. Countless men have loved deeply, given everything, and still been replaced. It's not just heartbreak, it's a wound to the soul, a silent question. What's wrong with me? Today, we uncover the dark truth of desire, why it feels like a game you can't win, and how to rise above it. You're trapped in a game you didn't sign up for, but what if you could break free? If you've ever felt love slip away, hit like now, we're diving deep. It starts with a force beyond your control, and it's time to face it head on. Arthur Schopenhauer, a 19th century philosopher, proposed a radical idea: at the heart of all existence lies the will to live. This isn't a conscious choice or a noble purpose. It's a blind primal force pushing every living thing to survive and reproduce. Schopenhauer argued that this will drive the universe itself, from the growth of plants to the instincts of animals, and in humans, it shapes our deepest desires. It's the root of our cravings for food, status, and love, but it comes with a catch. It's insatiable. The will keeps us wanting, ensuring we're never truly satisfied, and that, for Schopenhauer, is the source of all suffering. In human behavior, the will to live reveals itself most seductively in love. You might think love is about soulmates or heartfelt connection, but Schopenhauer saw it as a trick. Romantic desire, he claimed, is the will's way of ensuring we pass on our genes. When your heart races for someone, it's not just about them, it's the will nudging you towards survival. Beneath the butterflies and poetry lies a cold logic. Will this person strengthen my lineage? Can they protect or provide? Love isn't freedom, it's a biological illusion, crafted by an ancient force. Picture yourself as a marionette, dangling on invisible strings. The will to live is the puppeteer, and your desires, hunger, ambition, love, are the threads it pulls. When you fall for someone, that string tightens, guiding you not toward joy, but toward the will's agenda. Perpetuation. It's a haunting image. You're not the author of your passions, you're their puppet. So let me ask you, have you ever felt love grip you like a vice, urgent and unyielding, even when it led to pain? That's the will to live at work, relentless and uncaring, driving you forward no matter the cost. But here's where it gets intriguing. This will doesn't just make you desire, it makes you desire strategically. It sparks a pattern in human behavior, a quiet competition where we seek better partners to fulfill its aims. That pattern has a name: hypergamy. Well, let's dive into how this primal force turns love into a game of winners and losers. Schopenhauer's will to live drives us to desire, but it's not random, it's ruthlessly strategic. Enter hypergamy, a concept as old as humanity, yet sparking heated debate today. Hypergamy is the tendency, observed across cultures and history, for women to seek partners of equal or higher status, socially, financially, or physically. It's not about greed or shallowness, it's an evolutionary instinct, hardwired to maximize survival. To Schopenhauer, hypergamy is the will to live in action, ensuring the species thrives by pairing women with men who can protect, provide, or pass on superior traits. Love, in this view, isn't about your heart, it's about genetic advantage. This isn't a conscious plot. A woman doesn't sit down with a checklist, tallying your income or height. Her biology, shaped by millennia, scans for signals: strength, confidence, resources, ambition. Schopenhauer saw this as the will's cold calculus, indifferent to your feelings. When she chooses, it's not always about you, it's about what you represent in the primal game of survival. And here's the sting: if someone else signals better, the will nudges her toward them, leaving you behind. Imagine hypergamy as a ladder she climbs, each rung a man who offers more status, more security, more spark. You're not her partner, you're a rung, and if a higher one appears, you're stepped over. It's not personal, but it feels like betrayal. The will doesn't care about your loyalty or love. It seeks optimization, and you're just a variable. Let's make it real. Have you ever been left for someone who seemed more taller, richer, bolder? That moment when you realized you weren't chosen, not because you failed, but because you didn't rank high enough in an invisible hierarchy. Comment below, when did you first notice this pattern in your life? Your story could spark someone else's awakening. Hypergamy explains why love can feel like a competition you didn't sign up for. But what happens when you're not chosen? When the ladder moves on, and you're left questioning your worth, that's where the real pain begins, and it's where we're headed next. Hypergamy, driven by Schopenhauer's will to live, turns love into a competition where you're weighed, measured, and sometimes found wanting. The sting of being replaced doesn't come with tears. It's quieter, deeper, a wound men rarely voice. You gave your all, loyalty, time, heart, yet she walked away, not for a villain, but for someone better, taller, wealthier, bolder. That's the gut punch of hypergamy. It leaves you questioning your worth, not because you failed, but because you weren't enough, in a game you didn't know you were playing. You're left asking, what's wrong with me? This pain doesn't shout, it festers. Men don't cry, they bury the sting, masking it with sarcasm, silence, or bitter quips, like all women are the same. Resentment is a fire that burns inward, charring self-esteem and trust. Schopenhauer saw love as a trap, but for the man left behind, it's more, a betrayal of effort, a rejection of identity. A 2018 study in Journal of Social and Personal Relationships found that perceived rejection in romantic contexts fuels self-doubt and anger, often unexpressed due to social expectations of male stoicism. You're taught to man up, so the hurt turns toxic, simmering beneath the surface, shaping how you see love, women, even yourself. Imagine resentment as a smoldering ember, ignored but never extinguished. Each memory of her choice, his confidence, his status, stokes it, threatening to consume your sense of self. You didn't just lose her, you lost a piece of your value, or so it feels. That's hypergamy's cruelest cut. It makes you feel like a placeholder, not a person. Here's a challenge. When did rejection make you doubt yourself? Was it a moment when you realized you weren't the one, despite all you gave? Reflect on that pain. It's the first step to reclaiming your power. But was Schopenhauer's view of this dynamic pure wisdom, or was he just a man nursing his own wounds? Let's question his lens next, because the truth might lie beyond his bitterness. Schopenhauer's view of love as a trap wasn't just philosophy, it was personal. His bitterness, evident in his harsh words about women, stemmed from a strained relationship with his domineering mother and romantic rejections that left him feeling unseen. He wasn't just theorizing, he was intellectualizing his pain, turning heartbreak into a universal law. His will to live explains hypergamy's mechanics, but his scorn reveals a man wounded, not a sage with all the answers. Philosophy is a lens, not a gospel. Use it to see, not to justify rage. Don't let Schopenhauer's wounds become your excuse to hate. Misreading his ideas as proof that women are cruel, or love is a scam, traps you in a cycle of resentment, not truth. A 2019 Journal of Analytical Psychology warns that projecting personal pain onto others distorts reality, echoing Jung's insights. Philosophy is a tool, not a crutch. Wield it to understand, not to weaponize your hurt. Have you ever let pain twist your view of others? Reflect on that moment. It's a chance to grow. Let's move past Schopenhauer's bias and see hypergamy for what it really is. Not betrayal, but instinct. That's where clarity begins. Hypergamy, Schopenhauer's cold shadow of the will to live, isn't the villain it seems. It's survival, honed over millennia, in a world where choosing the wrong mate could mean starvation or death. Women's instincts, shaped by evolution, favored men who could protect, provide, or pass on strong traits. Hypergamy was their edge. A 2017 study in evolutionary psychology confirms this. Women historically sought partners with resources or status to ensure offspring survival. It's not selfishness, it's biology. a primal reflex to secure safety and stability in a brutal world. Today, hypergamy wears a modern face. It's less about wealth or brute strength, and more about confidence, ambition, purpose, qualities that signal a man's ability to thrive in a complex world. A woman might choose a driven entrepreneur over a kind but aimless partner, not out of cruelty, but because her instincts read momentum as security. Hypergamy is a compass, not a betrayal, guiding her toward what feels like strength, even if it leaves you behind. It's not about your worth, it's about her wiring. This doesn't make it fair, it doesn't soothe the sting of being passed over, but understanding its roots strips away the malice. What if desire isn't fair, but it's not personal? What if her choice reflects her instincts, not your flaws? Consider that for a moment. It could shift how you see rejection. Hypergamy isn't a plot against you, it's a force as old as life itself, indifferent but not evil. Yet the pain of not being chosen cuts deep, a wound that lingers in silence. Let's dive into that hurt, because it's where the real struggle and the path to strength begins. Hypergamy's compass may guide her instincts, but for the man left behind, it's a blade to the heart. Men don't just want companionship, they crave desire. The spark in her eyes that says, "You're the one." Losing it stings, not because she left, but because you weren't chosen over someone better. It's a rejection of your core, a whisper that you're not enough. Schopenhauer's will to live frames this as biology, but the wound feels personal, a failure to be the man she wanted, not just the one she needed. Society doesn't help. Men are taught to be stoic, to bury vulnerability under a mask of strength. Vulnerability isn't allowed, so pain festers, unspoken, unhealed. A 2019 study in Men and Masculinities found that cultural expectations of male toughness amplify emotional suppression, turning rejection into a silent poison. You're expected to shrug it off, but inside it gnaws every memory of her new choice. His confidence, his status, deepens the cut. You gave everything, loyalty, love, sacrifice, yet you're a placeholder, not a passion. Unwanted love is a ghost that haunts, lingering in quiet moments, whispering doubts about your worth. You replay the moments you thought were real, wondering where you fell short. The pain isn't just loss, it's the erosion of self, the fear you'll never be desired for who you are. It's a lonely ache, hidden behind forced smiles or bitter detachment, because no one teaches men how to grieve love's absence. Let's get personal. When did you feel like a placeholder? Was it a moment when her gaze shifted to someone else, leaving you invisible despite your efforts? Share your story below. When did rejection hit hardest? Your truth could help others face their own ghosts. This pain is real, but it's not the end. There's a way out of this shadow, a path to rebuild, not for her but for you. Let's explore how to turn this wound into strength and rise above the game. Rejection's ghost haunts, but it doesn't have to define you. Schopenhauer's will to live traps you in hypergamy's game, painting love as a losing battle. But Friedrich Nietzsche, who both admired and critiqued Schopenhauer, offers a way out, the Übermensch, the overman who turns pain into power. The Übermensch isn't about dominating others, it's about mastering yourself, transforming wounds into wisdom. Rejection stings, but it's fuel. You don't need her validation, you need your own strength. Stop chasing approval. Grow for yourself, build strength, purpose and clarity, not to win her back, but to become unshakable. Start small, identify one area where you've been passive. Is it your fitness, your career, your confidence? Act today, lift weights, set a goal, speak boldly. A 2020 study in Journal of Positive Psychology shows that purposeful action boosts self-efficacy, rewiring your sense of worth. Don't mimic the better man she chose. Surpass your past self. Seek progress, not perfection. Confidence grows from effort, not applause. Think of your worth as a fortress you build inside, brick by brick. Each step, learning, creating, enduring, fortifies it. Hypergamy may judge you by status, but your fortress stands beyond her gaze, rooted in what you've earned through struggle. No one can take that from you, not even her departure. Here's your challenge. What's one step you can take today to rise? Maybe it's a workout, a hard conversation, or a moment of honesty with yourself. Name it, act on it, and watch your foundation grow. You're not here to beg for love. You're here to forge a life that doesn't need it. Want more on mastering yourself, not the game? Subscribe now for tools to build your inner fortress and break free from external validation. This is your path to resilience, where rejection becomes a spark, not a shackle. Let's close this journey with a final call to stand tall, not for her but for the man you're becoming. You've journeyed from Schopenhauer's bleak trap of desire, where the will to live fuels hypergamy's sting, to the raw pain of rejection and the silent weight of societal expectations. You've seen hypergamy not as betrayal, but as instinct, and faced the truth. Being good isn't always enough to be desired. But through Nietzsche's Übermensch, you've found a path turning wounds into strength, building a fortress of worth within. This arc isn't about her, it's about you. From desire's illusion to your own power. Don't beg for love, build yourself. Your worth isn't hers to grant, it's yours to forge through effort, purpose, and growth. Every step you take, every doubt you conquer, cements your resilience. Let her leave. You'll still stand, not because you won her, but because you won yourself. The game of hypergamy may never stop, but you can rise above it, rooted in a core no one can shake. If this hit home, like this video to claim your strength. Share it with someone wrestling with rejection's ghost. Subscribe for more truth to fuel your journey. You're not a rung on her ladder, you're a man forging his own path. Stand tall,